Has everybody got a seat? Well, I guess good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks everybody for coming on their Saturday morning. Appreciate that. I think based on what you've seen in the little handout already that's starting to get circulated, I think every time we have a meeting, when I call these big meetings, we have something substantive to say, whether that's good or bad. We always get a great crowd and great support in terms of what we're trying to do here at Ravenna. This is as much more than an update. This is sort of we think is incredibly good news, and we want to share what we can with you and tell you what's happening. What we always try to do is be absolutely transparent with the members and what's going on, so that puts their fears to ease. And so I'm very excited to talk about several issues. And what we've got going on today, I got a lot of facts, so I'm going to throw a lot of stuff at you, and it's going to be a bit circuitous, but we'll get through it all. And if there's issues at the end, questions at the end, we've got a whole team of people here that can help answer those. It's hard to believe that it was 2 years ago and 10 days when I stood in here, October 10th of 2010, to tell everyone that we had done our best in renegotiating with the bank. It wasn't going to work, that we needed to hand over the reins to the bank. We wanted to step out of the way to allow an easy transition so that the club and the project didn't get caught up in a nasty foreclosure process that we knew would hurt and affect the value of the club and affect the membership. And we gladly stepped out of the way to make that happen. And I think at the end, I think my promise to everyone was we would do our very best to preserve Ravenna to the extent that we could, to preserve Ravenna for what it was, to maintain the vision and the character. To the extent that we had any control, we would work toward that goal. And it was a windy, twisty road from the time we gave it back to the time that we came back in here. The last meeting we saw most of you, which was in May, to say that we'd taken back control of the property, we'd resumed control, that we had the receiver released, and that we were working on plans to reopen the club, restructure the project, get it back on strong footing, and move forward with the exact same vision and character originally envisioned. We didn't want to change anything, but I asked everyone if we could have a little time to sort of figure all that out. There was a lot of moving pieces in our filing our Chapter 11 bankruptcy. We still don't quite know, but we didn't know at the time exactly how all that was going to play out, so we needed some time. And I know that most everybody that's here got out and played a little golf, and again, I appreciate everybody doing what they did in terms of taking care of the course. I appreciate the staff that worked very hard to bring the course back. If everybody's played recently, you can see there's a big difference from May to now. They feel like they've just about got this thing tackled, so we're pretty excited about all that. From May, once people knew we were back in control, of course, it hit the street. The public knew we were back in business. Lots of rumors were running around. We were going to sell the club. There was offers that were coming in. All seemed looked exciting from the outside in. Our goal was to maintain exactly what we promised all the members originally, and what was being presented to us didn't fit in the character of what we wanted to do. So we basically decided that we were going to move forward on our own, reopen the club, start to put some things in play that we're going to add to the value of the club going forward. We'll talk about those in a little bit. But we had the capacity, we have the resources and the funding that we were going to go ahead and move forward. But being in this business, being in the golf business is a very small business. So eventually what happened was, through a friend, a relationship of mine, we got introduced to a management group, and since you've got the handout, it was Billy Casper Golf. They're the second or third largest golf company, management and ownership company in the country. A great deal of experience and knowledge, and we began conversations and dialogue about what Ravenna is and where we want to take Ravenna. From that, they came in tow with them, came an investment group that had a strong interest in embracing what Ravenna was, or what Ravenna is. Excuse me. So, a lot of dialogue, a lot of conversation, a lot of discussion about the whole idea, the whole vision of Ravenna being this beautiful, private little club. They believed in that business model. And from that, we actually crafted a relationship with the investment group and with Billy Casper to move forward. Now, in my mind, I wasn't planning on having this conversation quite yet. We've got a lot of things that are still unknown in our bankruptcy, but we've got a pretty good view of what we believe is going to happen. But I'm a guy that likes to have all the answers before I stand up in front of the crowd and talk, especially this crowd, because I feel like I owe as many answers as I can get to. Casper and the investment group said, we'd really like to start now in figuring out who still has an interest in being part of Ravenna and working toward a new plan, a membership plan, which is going to allow us to expedite and move forward on some of our other plans, which I'll talk about in a minute. From that, we decided that we would go ahead and do a kickoff now, reintroduce the project, we worked together to come up with I believe, a very aggressive membership marketing for going forward, all in the hopes that we can fulfill some of the promises that we've made earlier in a shorter period of time. And that's what this investment group, and that's what Casper is going to help us do. They're in a period of time in which they're trying to figure out, they're committed, they're spending money, they're committed, but they're trying to figure out exactly where they stand, what they're going to do. They absolutely want to own this club, they want to buy it, they want to purchase it, but they don't believe that I got some of the greatest members in the world. So we're here, and they're going to get a good feel for today and then through the next couple months of exactly what we believe the momentum of this club will be. If they decide not to go forward, I'm going to be candid, if they decide not to go forward for whatever reason, Rees River Canyon, which is the owner of Ravenna, has the authority, has the power, has the strength to move forward. But we're very excited about having this group because they not only embrace the vision that we already have, they'll enhance it. Their experience, their knowledge, they're very talented managers and owners. They see taking what we have and dialing it up a little bit. So we're very excited about that prospect. Since you have the little handout, I guess let's talk a little bit about sort of what our strategy is here today. Everybody in this room, some form or fashion, whether you're a founding member, charter, even an annual member, have supported us, been part of this family, and we want to say thank you for that. And what our plan is to initiate what we call a brand new founder program. We're going to sort of reopen the founder program. The initial founding program was $50,000. A lot of people in this room have paid that or more. So we're not asking anyone to re-up, have to pay any more than the $50,000. So a lot of you in here are already paid. That will transfer, and we're not going to get into the complexities of bankruptcy, but that will transfer into a new membership and a new club. But it's basically you're just going to transfer over a name. So it's a technical issue that I'm not going to get into. But if you paid your money, it'll apply to it'll be your membership in the new club. For those that have partially paid up to the $50,000, they're welcome to pay up to the $50,000, and we'll finance that. So there may be some, depending on how much it is. If somebody needs a couple of years to pay that off, we can work with you to make that happen as well. If people here decide that they just don't want to be, and let me just say, the founding membership is going to have all sorts of new perks and tweaks. It's going to be very exciting, and this is the way that the investment group, Casper and us, are wanting to say thank you. So, and we'll get into those details later. I will tell you, I'm trying to keep this at 30,000 feet today, not so much in the way of details, because Amy, which is going to be our new membership director, is going to be in contact with you. Once you sign the reservation agreement, she will come and she'll explain all this in detail. If they decide you don't want to be a founder, we're going to start our memberships at a lower number. We're going to start those at $30,000, and we're going to escalate those up quickly. We are going to have a rigid membership review process, so we'll keep the same quality of member. I can't worry about that. We'll definitely make sure that we've got the right people here. And that will escalate up very quickly as we start to build some momentum in the community. Let's see. So on the launch, we wanted to talk with everybody that's been part of this family first before we hit the public, which Casper and Amy have, and I'll introduce everybody in a second, have worked very hard over the last few weeks and are going to work very hard over the next couple months to get all this momentum going. We're very excited about it. So you're going to start to see some. You're going to start to see some PR. You're going to start to see some great marketing. You're going to start to see a full commitment of getting this club back so that we can open it in the spring. Now, all of this membership is to really drive what everybody wants to know, because everybody calls and asks me, when are we going to build a clubhouse? What we've done is we have worked what we believe the best solution in terms of getting commitment from the members, at the same time getting the commitment from us to build the clubhouse. We've designed a much smaller clubhouse. It'll be where the other one was, 10,000 feet first floor, 10,000 feet below, and then a big walkout that walks into the ravine and overlooks 18. And then with some other expansion capacity as membership grows, halfway house. With the first phase will be a pool. So all of that will be in the works next year. But we have to make certain targets. What we've agreed to is originally we were at 225 members. So $50,000, $60,000 at 225 members is an awful lot of money. And so pushes our schedule up, way out. What we've come to is an agreement that when we get to 1.65 million in total gross proceeds from membership sales, and that includes, if we finance anything, that includes the future financial payments. So all that gets added together. We will begin the clubhouse, and we'll start the first phase within 30 days or so of reaching that clubhouse. So, and we have to go through the process of getting it processed through the county, but we believe what we designed is a very cool, little, beautiful clubhouse. And that's really what we are. I mean, we've always talked around what Ravenna is, and I think it's occurred to us what we want to be is a beautiful little club. Not a big, massive club, but intimate, personal, and that's what we were doing before, and that's what we want to perpetuate. So, so when we get to that target, we'll start the clubhouse, and then we'll talk. Amy will talk through as membership grows what the schedule will be for the other improvements. We're excited because we're hopefully that everyone here feels like we're treating everyone very well in terms of what we're trying to do to provide value for the people that have stuck it out with us. And what we're hoping is that this membership will be the sort of the catalyst to bring new members to help us grow. What we need to do is we need to grow this community, this club, and this community now. So we believe that by doing what we're doing now, we'll generate a substantial amount of momentum. Now, a couple other things. Amy's going to talk in a little bit about this fast-paced schedule, because we're going to have open houses, we're going to have cocktail parties, we're going to have bring potential members to little wine gatherings. All that is going to start next week, right? Tuesday, I guess. So we will want to help. We want your help. We want to interact with us. We want to interact with you. But we want to maximize our ability to bring in new members. Now, Amy's going to tell you, and I'll tell you, they're going to give you a coupon for the founders to go out when if you find a potential member, they get a coupon for $5,000 off their membership, which is a substantial incentive to get people to sign up now. What we're asking you to do now is we're going to ask you to sign a reservation for lots of reasons. We can't, we're in the middle of our bankruptcy, so we can't really represent, we don't know yet completely how this is all going to work. We have a very good idea of what we believe is going to be the outcome, but we're not going to misrepresent here that we know exactly what's happening, so it's a little bit fluid. What they really want to know is if you're interested or not interested, and at what level. The only other thing that I haven't talked about is, which is also on everybody's mind, is the $670,000 that was held in an account by us originally, in terms of the 25% that was held on the deposits. It's River Canyon's money. As everyone knows, the receiver began to take that money and use that for expenses. We sounded the alarm bells. We had 2 members that took the time and the expense to fight that. The receiver and the bank lost. That $670,000 is returned to the account. It is our plan. I cannot represent yet because I don't know exactly how it's going to work in the bankruptcy, but what we're hoping, that money will be left there. We don't plan on touching it, just like we weren't planning on touching it ever before. And what we believe is whether the new investment group in Casper or us, what we're hoping is that $670,000 remains there, and River Canyon is going to contribute that to getting the clubhouse built as well. And that's not part of the $1.6 million. That's on top of that. So, but that money's safe. No one's lost. You know, in terms of that, those deposits and the promise that we made is still, we feel still we're intact when it comes to that. So, so I've touched on, I think, the high points. I'm going to first let me introduce. Yes.
Can we ask questions?
Well, yeah, but let me introduce. Yeah, go ahead. Fire away.
Just clarify on the 1.6. So, with the way the program is working, for those members that may have paid $50,000 or more previously and may get a credit for that, does that count towards the 1.6, or is the 1.6 comprised of sort of new?
It's new.
Real money.
It's new. So, yeah, that'll all be sort of, if there's payments in the Founder program where people are paying up to the 50, that'll count, as well as any and all new
So if
members.
somebody gets the full credit and doesn't bring new cash to the deal, it's not counting towards the 1.6.
Right. Yes, Alan?
Just a question to make sure I understand. I paid $65,000 for the membership when I closed my house.
Yes.
Does that get credit towards the $50,000? Or do I have to pay $50 on top of it?
No, you don't have to repay anything. Now, the $65,000, that's going to be handled in our bankruptcy. So you're all basically unsecured creditors. So most of that money, as the old club technically gets dissolved and a new club gets created, most of your money on the deposit, just like mine, will go away. That's
So I have to pay $50,000 again?
No. What we're saying is that goes away, but you're going to get a new membership. If you've already paid your $50,000 or more, you'll get a membership, a new membership in the club. Now, you'll pay nothing. They don't owe you anything back, but you've lost no value in terms of.
I understand.
You get the membership, but you don't have to write a new check.
Okay.
And that's, typically, if you know around the country, and I'm sure you're aware of that, most clubs are right because the ownership changes. And that's why we desperately fought to keep the ownership the same until we were in complete control. But typically what happens is that you lose your membership and they say if you want to join, you got to write another check. We didn't think that was much of a thank you, to be honest with you. We appreciate how much you've done for us, and we are a family, and we're trying to do what we believe is the fairest value in terms of getting the club back up and started.
Can I ask a question though? Well, 25% of what I paid is in that escrow account, correct?
Yes.
So that will eventually go to building the club.
That's right. That'll apply to the clubhouse.
Do you know what the due structure is going to be in April?
I think it's going to be roughly somewhere about where we were 2 years ago, somewhere in the 500 range. It'll be very fair. It'll change, of course, when we get the clubhouse built. It is our goal that we get this clubhouse built next year. We believe that the members, between the membership, the founders, the new momentum, the excitement that we're going to generate here. And this is coming out of this meeting, there should be quite a bit of excitement in that we've treated everybody fairly. When we believe we're going to get to that 1.6. Whenever we get there, but we're really hoping that happens this year so that we can begin the clubhouse this year. So, without, if no other questions right now, let me introduce first, come on up, Douglas. Douglas White is Vice President of Casper Golf. You know, and he'll tell you a little bit more. You'll learn all about Casper, but they have over 150 clubs, whether they own or manage them. They have an incredible variety of clubs. This is we're very excited that they're going to embrace the whole private club concept. And so Douglas, I will let Douglas White's here. He's been here. I've been working with Douglas since June or July. We've had great conversations. He understands perfectly where we want to go with this club, and they're right on board. So Douglas White.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you. Good morning. The next time I stand before you, I hope Mr. Casper himself is beside me. Cool. And we can make that happen. The thing is, though, I'll tell you, as our namesake, there's two things that are very, very important to Billy besides his family and his charity and all that. It's golf and fishing.
Yay.
So we may have to rescue him down the river and bring him up here, but
It's that way.
Somebody asked me this morning where my home is, and I almost said U.S. Airways, so I'm directionally challenged. As Glenn mentioned, our excitement to be a part of this special place you have, I don't know that I can express it today. Our company was founded in 1989 by two individuals. We're a very privately held company. There's 12 of us that are owners of the company. There's a lot of enthusiasm in us bringing something to the game of golf, bringing something to what a lifestyle is all about. I've never seen more representation of what a lifestyle is until I walked into the room. So having that kind of property and the ability to form a relationship with a group like this is paramount in our vision. We have over 135 golf courses. You know, Bill Marriott his first hotel was not a JW Marriott. Our first golf course was not a Ravenna. We're a very diversified portfolio. What that gives us the ability to do, though, is to understand what people seek in a lifestyle and bring that knowledge and expertise of operating in 26 different states at all different levels. We begin quickly to identify opportunities to make more penetration in the market, because at the end of the day, we don't want to be a 700-member club. We want to be a very, very concise, personal, friendly, intimate club with the number of members it takes for it to be economically sustainable. Everybody in here wins. Service levels are at the impeccable highest level. The investment group is in a satisfactory return. Everybody wins. The lifestyle stays. All the special things that you love and why you came here all stays. Anything we can do to enhance that, that's our vision. That's what we want for Ravenna. We don't have the pressure of Wall Street. We don't have the pressure of a lot of money forcing us to make decisions. So a lot of our decisions are made just as Glenn and I sat across the table. I mean, that's how personal we are as a company. Although we're 135 golf courses, there's only 10 or 12 of us that are in that decision mode. So it's very, very important to us to have these kind of relationships. So I will tell you again, if my excitement is not spilling over now, it will continue. But nonetheless, the agreement that we were able to come up with, I think, is a true win-win, because we're going to have the ability to now, and I'll tell you, my first visit in Amy Rome. Also, Randy Hausman is with us. Randy will be on site for 6-8 weeks during this interim process. I'm also pleased to introduce Charlie Soule. Charlie is part of the investment group. We are in discussion about our relationship in terms of investment partner, manager, and all that. Believe me, we've drank the Kool-Aid. We love this place, so it's exciting. And Charlie and I'll have more discussion about going forward here. I was telling Amy, I said I can tell Columbine really misses you, because as part of coming here, it was I went to Columbine and sat down for 45 minutes to buy a membership. Never asked me for my name, my phone number, my contact information, nothing. Went the same thing. I went to Colorado Golf Club. Same thing. Sat down and asked me about my family, you know, how I wanted to pay the initiation fee, the date I wanted to join. Never got my contact information. So I go back to our marketing team and I said, if we can't find people to be a part of our club, we're doing something wrong. So I know we've hired the best in Amy, and Amy, we're looking forward to some quick and exciting results. So I know you're going to speak in a little bit. I'll kind of close that in the sense that I'm around all day, happy to answer any questions about our company, our vision, what we look for. You know, and again, we want to be a part of what you've built already and just expand on that. So, thank you, Glenn.
Amy, why don't you come on up and you can give them a little bit more of the spiel about that.
Well, nice to meet all of you that I don't recognize from Columbine. I recognize a few faces. So I am so happy and honored to be a part of this process. This is a beautiful club. I think it's a hidden gem. I feel like it's a mountain course down here just south of C470, and a lot of people don't know that it exists. So I'm really happy to be a part of this. We've got a lot of exciting things planned. Coming up on Tuesday, we're going to be having a prospective member and member cocktail party here at the club. So anybody that you know that might be interested in membership, you know, maybe they've golfed a couple of rounds in the past, bring them on by. It's just going to be an open house from 6 to 9. We're going to do a kickoff party next Saturday, the 27th. So that'll be during the day. Still working on details on that. It'll be a little bit weather dependent, but that'll be more of a family type of event. So if you can get that on your calendars, if you'd like to join us for that, we would love to have you. We've got several other events that are in the planning phases right now. Just to kind of highlight those, we've got a family photo day, wine tasting coming up, and then we'll have kind of a closing party at the end of November. So a lot of this process, I'm going to want to get to know each and every one of you and what your habits are. Are you a daily golfer? Who you golf with? I want to get to know a little bit about each one of you. The best way to market a club is through all of you, because we want members that look and act and have the same type of lifestyle that you do. So I'll be contacting each one of you just to try and set up a meeting, get to know each of you a little bit better. And I hope you can feel my excitement. I'm just kind of over the moon with this place. Just to give you a little bit of background, I came down here about 5 years ago and was completely blown away and have wanted to be here in some form or fashion ever since. So that being said, thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of this. And calling me.
I think what Amy was going to talk a little bit more about too was the concept of the founder membership. You know, we created this class of membership as an appreciation for everything that you've brought to the table now. Certainly there's the monetary effect of having you pay more initiation fees doesn't mean anything to the true value of this. So this founding category has a lot of other services, benefits that you probably didn't have in your other membership. We want to extend that to you. We have created a charter membership that will kind of be something outside of the original group. The only people that can be in this founding group are people who have been affiliated with them. So I hope that means something to you, because when we devised that, collectively with Glenn and Amy and Randy and all those that we spoke to, we thought that alone, it's been 4 or 5 long years, right? Having the ability to be part of that special class, I think, is well deserved, and we're happy that we can offer that to you. So,
Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to answer questions that come in at me. What I didn't want to get into discussion today is sort of our bankruptcy and all the other issues that are sort of revolving around. This is really relegated to sort of club issues, but it's part of the bigger picture. But having this successful club is a big piece of the building blocks we need to put the project and the club all back on its feet. So as you can tell, I think this new investment group, Casper, brings a lot to the table, or we would not be talking to them. There's no question that they're going to, and this is hard for me to tell you that you don't really want to give this up. You know, this is something that I've loved, I've bled on, and it's exciting. And but after talking with, especially with Douglas and Randy, they bring a lot to the table that just one single club operator can't do. So we're really looking for the benefits, and we're excited about that. So, and they're excited. You can tell they're excited. So with that, are there any questions that I haven't covered yet? And like Amy said, she's going to cover a lot of stuff when she meets with you personally. But you'll be in Vegas, so go ahead. Tell me what you think. Go ahead.
First of all, thank you to Billy Casper Golf. This looks very exciting, and certainly for you guys and for Glenn, as a longtime member, I guess, I appreciate sort of the package that you guys have put here. Glenn, I wanted to make sure I understood, going forward with the club, what will River Canyon's involvement or your involvement be going forward? Is this Billy Casper Golf then owns, runs?
Yeah, that's a good question, Troy, and that's our hope. What we're doing right now is we're working together to get this momentum going, and they'll decide, they'll make the ultimate decision here shortly on whether they're going to take the reins completely or some hybrid thereof. I believe, and I've told them this, that we have great members that are going to help us drive membership on this club, and I think once they get a good feeling, they'll make that decision pretty quickly. So.
Is their decision in the Casper to stay somewhat involved with Trolley Hall, or would they potentially back away if they have to make this decision?
We don't decided that yet.
It could be any of the three.
Could be any of the three. That's right. But one thing's for certain: this package that we've offered is whether Billy Casper's and the new investment group is here, or if we stay River Canyon by itself. This is the package that we're going with. And we plan to open the club in this early spring, so that everybody gets a full season of golf this year. Yes, Al?
Are you going to offer, if Billy Casper becomes the owner, are they going to be reciprocity between other clubs, or will this will be a private club separate from everything else?
Absolutely. There's 15 to 20% of our portfolio that you want to go experience, from the Longenbergers to Conopolys and go down the list. As part of our relationship with our investment team, we will offer reciprocity privileges at our golf courses.
That's just one of the many things that they can bring that I can't do on our own. So it's very exciting.
You guys are great golf courses.
We've got a broad list of golf courses. We got a here, we got some here, and some here. So.
Yes, Brian.
How many of the owned golf courses by Billy Casper are here in Colorado?
Owned?
Ask that again.
Or
I'm sorry.
managed or owned? Or
How many owned or managed golf courses do you have in Colorado?
in Colorado State?
We don't have any.
Oh, okay.
So we're your partner without conflict.
Yes, Barry.
Looking at this membership fees, the new ones, even at the low end, the 30,000, it looks like you're really only looking at needing 60 members or so to make that. That's strong. That's great. I think one thing that could be a little bit of a problem is that you say, is Billy Casper's group going to be here or not be here? Are they because a mandate that name brings a lot in the strength of having 135 clubs, etc. And I think that will do nothing but help. And I think it's hard to get 60 new members when you say, we don't know if they're going to be here or not be here. They could be, but we hope so. But yeah, I think that's going to be harder.
I think you asked the right question, so let's clarify that. The investment partnership we have with Charlie Stoll and his partner is we plan to be here with that investment team. If our investment team doesn't move to closing on the transaction, then I don't know. I mean, that would be certainly up to River Canyon if we're involved. But if our investment team closes on the transaction, absolutely we're going to be.
And how long, what's the timing on that?
Well, I think some of it's out of our control, but we're trying to push the pendulum or as fast as we can. We're trying to accelerate all the process to be in line to do that. I think everybody knows we're investing capital with people here to get this membership up and going. And you bring up the right point. When you look at the documents of 225 members, we're saying at 125 will do what was being done at 225. We think that has market opportunity. And we think it'll move quick. So what we didn't want to lose is we didn't want to wait till February, March and do this. We'd rather do this now with a little bit of weather left, get the excitement going, and the reservation agreement there's no money up front. We just want to know they're interested.
Yeah, they were the ones saying, because it was my plan to wait till the beginning of the year. And they were the ones that say, let's hurry, let's get this going now. We're excited, we're willing to come in, they are spending substantial money now to get this thing rolling.
I guess my question then would still go, what do we think the timing is to know whether you're, because that has to do with bankruptcy? Is
Yeah,
what it is?
that's right.
Do we have an idea, and does it look like that's a month, does it look like that's a year? Does it
Oh,
look
no,
like
no, it's a
6
couple
months?
months, it's just a couple months out. I think once they get a firm feel on what it is, who's going to be involved, and sort of what the membership appetite and the new membership appetite is, I think at that point we'll be able to move forward. We've structured something very flexible. Very flexible, because what we want is a clubhouse. And I can tell you that it's very hard to get that kind of commitment. And so what we had to do is we had to be somewhat fluid, because we want to get the ultimate goal of the clubhouse. So that's why we've said, let's get in now, let's get started.
Let me just address real quick. The agreement you have now, we have already drafted a charter membership agreement and the regular membership agreement. The coupon that Glenn referred to is a $5,000 certificate for you to invite your friends to be a part of that. And we don't have that far to go. I think you've all kind of done the math. This is a transaction. I mean, a lot of people in here are in business and understand the transaction. So it's a progressive step to get to that closing. And there's different benchmarks that we're going to hit to get there. So to your point, we're getting past the first one already. Let's get past the second one, and then once things are identified in the whole court process, then we can kind of bring closure to that. So.
Yeah, John?
Just a question for your organization.
Sure.
As I heard Glenn was talking to you, I just found myself asking this question over and over, having been the president of the club before and somewhat intimate with the finances here. But help me understand how an organization like yours brings really more profitability to coming in and running clubs, because most of the clubs I've been involved with, obviously relative to dues, you're kind of breaking even and you're making dough on food and beverage, and I understand about depreciation equipment and all that, but why would guys like you get in this business in the first place, besides the crazy fact that everybody loves golf? I mean,
What's your first name again?
John Scott. Yeah.
The margins aren't here.
Yeah, I know.
The margins are scale. I mean, it's a big scale business. With 135 golf courses, we've got some that are in the negative 5% profitability. We've got some in the 35% profitability. Our whole focus in a property like this is to make sure that we keep the service levels at the intense level. Our benefit is going to be the fact that in identifying opportunities to grow market share, i.e. grow members, we can quickly grasp and understand market opportunities a lot faster than an individual can do. So behind the scenes already, we've acquired a very qualified mailing database that we were able to purchase in 24 hours. We've got the in-house system to track the results of that. We've got the follow-up. There will be no guest or prospect that comes here and we don't get their phone number. I can promise you that. So we've got the systems. The whole thing is accountability, sales, and really delivering on what you say. On the monetary side of it, yeah, I mean, we buy almost $50 million worth of food product a year. So we can bring that number down 4 and 5%. All of our insurance is under Chubb. So we drive that down. So the economies of scale are considerable.
Mowers and stuff and things like that.
Right. But the most important thing is we have our own in-house public relations firm, Buffalo Communications. Anybody, you've been to our website, I would invite you to go to Buffalo Communications. Buffalo Communications is the largest PR golf-focused publicity company in the nation. And we're the parent company. So we use that, and you'll see a lot of that. There'll probably be a joint effort with real estate, with River Canyon. You'll see a lot. I mean, we can go into a market, get an advertorial, get a press release, get anything done without any cost. You know, we fly 6 or 8 to 10 golf people to a 4-day week. And we only ask that when we call you to write something, you write it. So we've got leverage. We've got leverage out in the marketplace. And the whole thing about Ravenna is we want the right people to know about it. And I think that's the value that we can bring.
Have you made any decisions as where you'd like to cap off membership to keep it a small, clean club?
What was originally written in the documents makes a lot of sense to us. Because you're not going to have the huge burden overhead of the club. You know, I think Glenn's plan as he scaled it makes a whole lot of sense in terms of, and again, it's not huge returns here. It's creating a lifestyle that really you guys embrace, the future people coming in, the 60 people, which we hope will be another 120 after that. Around 300, you've got a pretty quaint club.
You know, with your market knowledge of qualified people, you're not going to have any problem with it.
But we're asking for your help today.
You got one of those coupons?
We do, absolutely. I think
Amy's going to give you one.
we're handing those out, right?
So Doug, the initiations that come in, where will they actually be paid? Are they paid to River Canyon, or are they paid to you? Where are they being held?
They will be paid to our organization, yes.
Okay, so what happens if it does unravel and you don't get a deal?
We're not collecting any money until we're actually
In the
closed.
deal.
Okay,
I don't think we can do that legally. So.
okay. So that's the idea, you're just making a reservation,
Correct.
and sometime in the future it'll come due.
Yeah,
assuming
and
there's
let
a
me
deal.
add one thing that will give you even more confidence, because this question will come eventually, is that of the money that is collected, a minimum of 75% of that money is going to be put in a reserve account to apply toward the clubhouse. So they're not using a majority of your initiation deposits to pay for the negative carry they're going to pay on the operations of the club. They are putting that money to the clubhouse. And at the time that they build the clubhouse, the $670,000 that we have with River Canyon, that'll also get applied. So we're on our way already. So by the time we get to the 1.65, now the investors still have to contribute a lot more money
Yeah, I mean, it's a
to
pretty
build the
substantial
clubhouse.
investment still, even at
That's right.
20,000
That's
square
right.
foot
It's a
clubhouse.
big deal. But it gives you some assurance that that money's going to be there. So.
Charlie, you want to come up, introduce yourself? I know you're sitting in the back. You stood up earlier. Are you? Okay, wonderful.
I'm Charlie Soule. I'm part of the investment group to buy the club and the golf course out of the bankruptcy. My background is I'm a workout guy. I've been active in a lot of bankruptcies, helped them get restructured and successfully operating. So we bring a few things to the table different than just writing a check. We've navigated this kind of process before very successfully. So we know where the pitfalls are and what we need to do in order to convince the court and the other creditors that what we're going to do is going to be successful. Second, we bring an extreme love of golf. We're all golfers. I'm personally a member of 3 other golf clubs, all of them private. And so we bring a very high level dedicated to the game. And third, we bring the fact that we like the private nature of clubs, and we want to make sure that those things are successful. So I think we bring that match with the Billy Casper group and what's been done here so far. We bring that particular effort to the table. We're not cheap-ass people.
That'll be a change, huh?
You don't have a cheap place here, and so we want to help foster and continue that. So I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.
Good question, Matt.
Oh, Eric?
The potential of not closing, what are some of the things that are kind of floating out there outside of the obvious bankruptcy that could prohibit you from closing this transaction?
Is that to me?
Either.
Go ahead.
Well, the thing that excites us is the potential here. You've got such a foundation of what can happen, what has happened. But the real where the rubber meets the road is making sure that the future happens. And so we're putting up all the money right now to start this program. It was our program, it was our idea along with Billy Casper to start this program now rather than waiting for it later. So we're starting on what to try to answer the questions about is the potential that we see here real? And so that's what we're starting now with this. And yeah, I'm sure there are some calamities in the future that could happen, like, we don't get anybody who wants to have a reservation form. We think that's rather remote. But when you're asking people to write several $1 million of checks, they want to have a little bit of an idea about what really is this, how we get our hands around what this potential is going to be. That's all we're trying to do is identify that potential. Yeah.
Alan?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Have you guys had, or do you see potential for good success in bringing non-resident members to the club, which will help move things along? You have that access.
We've looked at the market in several different ways. How quickly, to Charlie's point, can we obtain the membership count that sustains the club? That's the most important number. Is there an invitational type play, guest of a member? I think you saw in your founder package we're giving you. I'm sorry.
Right, I'm specifically asking that non-Colorado.
Oh, a national membership?
Yeah.
Great question. We've seen it work in a lot of different places. I think if we build our foundation and that's the supplemental approach, we would give that consideration. I think we do have, and when I say I think, I'm confident that we have over 2.5 million people we know how many times they play our golf courses. Most of that we know the demographics of, the socioeconomic, so we know who fits that profile. So the national membership may be an internal launch on our part, again, another value in terms of identifying national members. So yes, that is under consideration.
Chris?
Just a quick question. I noticed that for the membership fees, as you're trying to do memberships, there's a quick upscale from October of 30,000 for new memberships.
Right.
November goes 35, January 40. I think the challenge is when I go to hand out this certificate to who I know, people I know, they know the history of Ravenna, they understand the challenges. So the first question they're going to ask me is, and they're going to ask Amy and anyone else, is when is this deal sealed? I think you're going to have, and I don't know if it's something within the membership reservation form that there's a contingency, but it may be an uphill challenge to get people, even with a $5,000 certificate, to re-up that I'm going to join the club unless they truly understand that it is stable and moving forward, and I would say that you guys were behind it. So this is a really quick, we're in the middle of October, and this jumps to November. I would look at that as consideration because the message is always going to be the same questions you get here. It's okay, well, has this deal been sealed?
Right.
Are you guys in? And the problem is with all the activities Amy's going to do, she's going to have to explain it just how we do here. The difference is we're already members.
I hope that we have addressed your point, and I think it's a very valid concern. That's why we're taking no money.
But if you don't take the money, my question is, and I didn't read the agreement, so maybe I missed this, can the person just back away and not take the registration? Okay.
We're going to establish an interest level. When we get through the process and we're confirmed that we're here, that's when we come ask for the check.
Okay. All right, great.
And we also wanted you guys to know about the low pricing first out.
So
Right.
you guys could go out and get your friends involved in the club quickly. She's gonna do a lot of marketing here pretty soon. A lot of those folks are not gonna know about this till November.
Right.
Kind of by design. We still think $35,000 is a heck of a deal for this club.
Sure.
Right, right.
So we wanted your friends to find out about $30,000 first.
And we certainly want to bring as many friends as we can.
Yeah, the October offer, as Randy Hausman has said, the October offer is really a referral program.
Okay.
That's
And-
really what it
And
is.
it's not just $30,000, it's $25.
Right.
Right.
So I mean, I call your buddies as soon as you can tonight. Get them to sign this thing.
Cell phone should be ringing, right? I don't know which order. Glenn, you want
Can I
to?
just make a quick comment? I mean, we gotta look at this the other way around too. I mean, I know it's gonna be hard to bring them in, but again, just from experience I had over at Rolling Hills, we were doing a clubhouse remodel over there, and it required some capital to get done. And we announced to the street that on a certain date, and by the way, it was in November or December, in the off season when you think anybody wouldn't be joining, that we were gonna raise the initiation fee like $7,000 or $8,000, and all of a sudden, wham, they just all came flying in, and we went to full membership in like 30 days. So when I look at this, that's what I'm thinking, is that you're trying to create that momentum so people can get in and say go. And I think that's obviously all in our best interest if we want to see this thing work and get some people in here.
Yeah, I hear you, John, but I would also, argue Chris's point. You need to go at warp speed to be able to get what you're looking for and see if you can get a deal with it.
Right. But we do have, there's some issues there that we don't have control over either. And this is a very unique situation. So, and that's why we have Randy and Amy here every day to help have that dialogue with people to get them comfortable. And they're signing a reservation agreement that once we have all those answers, come back. But tell us you're interested.
And they get the price that they paid for it, time to do the reservation.
Correct.
Well, it's actually more of a question or challenge to you, that, are you comfortable with the fact that, hey, you got 2 weeks to kind of fish in this pond, and then beyond that, then you're going to start kicking in your marketing programs. At the end of the day, you've got to get a certain number of members to be able to build the club and, all the other things that you're looking for. And are you guys comfortable with the fact that, hey, you got, 2 months to really make that happen, to the point that, again, perhaps you're priced at a point where you're able to say, hey, you know what, I'm just going to sit on my hands and see what happens.
We're more comfortable doing that now than we would be in February, March.
No.
Todd?
2 questions. One is maybe for Glenn. Are lots required to have a membership as it was before when you purchase a lot near that? And then the second question, are you able to disclose the amount of investment that you're talking about?
I'll answer the first one first. There'll be some modification, not much, but there'll be a modification that yes, people still will need to be, in some respect, a member of this club. So that's one of the commitments that we're making. Whether Casper and Charlie come and do this deal or not, we still are going to maintain that anybody who lives in Ravenna needs to be, in some respect, a member of the club. And then the second, no.
So there could be some limitation of how many outside memberships are available.
Yeah, but I think that's already configured in our math. It always has been. The second component is no, we're not going to talk about what our deal is at all. Charlie and we and Casper and us have agreed on strict confidentiality. You will not know.
But everybody in here is, you can go to, what it costs to build a clubhouse, the 1.65. I think you can ascertain pretty close. And Charlie shared, it's several million.
Alan, you had a question?
Yeah, hopefully then you won't take it. One of the obstacles, I think, at least I know a lot of people who love this place and want to do it, and they just want to get over this stigma of the old regime and selling it that it's a Billy Casper club. It's going to be a lot easier. Is this something we can give people? So when we give them the certificate and say it's not the old Ravenna, because they're going to worry, am I going to lose my initiation? And I don't mean anything disparate. It's just a stigma that's difficult. So is there something we can give to someone and say, hey, it's the Billy Casper group, here's what you're going to do. If it doesn't become them, you got a chance, you don't have to join.
Oh, well, it's just a reservation. So if I don't believe there's much of a stigma with the old guard. I think most everybody here says they love it. But if we decide to go forward without them, they absolutely can. If there's no money, they can get there's no bind. The release or the reservation is not binding. So.
Or use the website.
So, yeah.
So what's the difference between just a regular golf membership and a founder membership? So if I'm in like 35 grand, what's the benefit of me paying another 15?
Well, Amy will explain that. We're not going to get into those, but there's lots of benefits being a founder. There's lots of special perks that are going to be that'll.
I think it's on page 3 of.
You get free. Basically free golf guest passes. You get the option of being the founder locker room. There's lots and lots of things you're going to get. They're going to be very generous with incentivizing you guys to be a founder and be part of this club.
Are we still going to be 85% equity? Or?
No. Whatever you pay going forward is simply a fee. It's like Lakewood or Columbine, I think it's just a fee that you pay. And if you leave, you leave.
Can you make this public on your website? Because if we tell people, Billy Casper's in, jump on their website, big splash.
Oh, you can tell. I think you can go public that Billy Casper and Charlie they're in working with us on this deal. So I think you can do that.
I'll give that some thought. I think Charlie and Glenn and I need to talk about that. I need to talk to our team.
I think what Alan was asking is there just a little brochure of Billy Casper Golf that says blah, 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 we got 130 courses, this and this, and here's the group that is coming into Ravenna, so you say, here's about Billy Casper Golf, and you can go out and see Ravenna.
I can give you about Billy Casper in Buffalo. It's mainly our executive summary of who we are and our involvement. You can type that up, and we'll work with marketing and PR. Okay.
And my email address will be aron@billycaspergolf.com. So I think a lot of people will probably, go to Billy Casper's website and check that out.
Yeah.
A quick list about facilities, and they say Billy Casper Golf, it's the golf cover of Ravenna. Is there any plans ever to have tennis stuff there? Is that
Tennis.
All the amenity package, is sort of this roughly. There's not a schedule yet, but all the things that were promised originally are still we're still focusing on the long-term vision of what's going to be here at Ravenna. So yes. Yeah.
Colorado, which obviously we've been down this road before, see really how much interest there is in the club, hence why it's a quick ramp-up time, maybe before the bankruptcy, to figure out if it buys investment. And if so, is there a specific number you're looking for from reservations before you guys pull the trigger as an investment group or as a management group to then fund the club? Is that really what kind of the gates are and the push is, and the investment bringing a membership director in to see if it's a wise investment through how much interest you have before you would want to close on the deal? Is there a specific number that you're looking for in reservations?
I don't know. We've had a discussion. You're not going to pinpoint one number. If the momentum's there, then we'll have a good feel for that. We're spending an awful lot of time diagnosing, really analyzing the market data. What's the capacity out there? Can we really go get those members?
Right. So I guess my question is the 60-day momentum really is what your deciding factor is rather than invest in the club?
Well, that, and we've got a lot of other things that you do in a transaction in terms of, I think somebody asked the question, is there something there you're concerned about? If we had 50 to 60 reservation agreements on top of 60 members joining, we said 125 is a pretty good number. So that might be something, it might help you in terms of trying to get us to a number. Basically 125 members, who said it? Barry, I think you said 60 more members, you guys are at your goal. If we had 60 reservation agreements, I think the decision becomes that.
Well, stop to think about it. If you were making a major investment into something like this, what are all the things that you want to find out before you pull the trigger? And they're not just reservations. For instance, is the golf course built well? Do you have adequate water? What's going on with the water? Everybody hears all these rumors about the water. We want to make sure there's water there. Are there permitting requirements that are going to be so onerous that you can't do business in Pembroke? What is what's the longevity of the play? What factor do all those things have into account? All of those things are stuff that is on the table in terms of our due diligence of what we're doing. And we're funding that up front, so to make sure that we have that. And so all of those things are what we have to do, that we're just not taking for granted. We're going to look at and make sure, so that and we feel very good about that. I mean, we've had some people in here, we've already done some preliminary work, or else we wouldn't be here. And so we really believe strongly in what's going on.
Is that it? Well, I hope you take this as good news. We're very excited about sort of the direction, and we're looking forward to moving on to the next step. So thanks so much for your time this morning, and Amy will get in touch with everybody here in the very near future.